In this video, we're going to talk about the last intervention, which is gainful employment. Basically learning how to be happy at your job, learning how to find satisfaction in what you're doing, purpose in what you're doing, making sure that you have good friends and colleagues at work, and then reflecting on maybe what may be deficient at your current job. So go ahead and download the PDF and open it up. And what you'll see is that Snyder and Lopez make a big deal out of how much our work life has an impact on our overall well-being. We spend so many hours at work, and it has such an important impact on our identity that it's really important to make sure that your work is meaningful. And they define gainful employment as having a job that meets lots of different types of needs. So it provides a sense of engagement and involvement. It allows you to find a sense of purpose in providing either some sort of product or a service that you are performing well and you're meeting your goals. You have clear, the company has provided you with clear expectations and gives you meaningful feedback on if you're not making progress on those goals. Includes companionship with your colleagues and supervisors. You have a lot of different job duties. Variety is the spice of life in this case. Of course, the work environment has to be safe under all circumstances, and you have to have a high enough income to provide for yourself, and ultimately, obviously, you need to be happy and satisfied. And so what I want you to do is to basically complete this this grid for how much or how important each of these different varieties or facets of gainful employment are to you. So to some people, variety and duties may not be as important. Some people, engagement and involvement may not be as important. Companionship with coworkers and bosses may not be important. So the first task that you need to do is actually to complete this task over here. So it says right here, complete the measure of gainful employment. And there's one of these also in the textbook, so you can see that as well. So the first section that you have to focus in on is right here, this importance rating. And basically you just have to score each of these as either extremely important or all the way down to no importance whatsoever. And then what you're going to do is give yourself a grade, or give the job a grade, I should say that. From an F, which would be a 0, to an A, which is a 4. So of course, in a perfect world, you would have lots of 4s that are A's, and the few things that may be F's or even D's may be of very little or no importance to you. And then what you're going to do is go through these different steps in here. It's a little bit complicated, and for sake of time, I'm going to let you go ahead and read it and email me if you have any questions on it. And basically what you're going to do, and again, the book has some really good descriptions on this. What you're going to do is you're going to work your way through this and then determine two things. One, if you feel like you are gainfully employed, and there's a pretty objective answer to that. And then two, if you're not gainfully employed, what areas do you think you can improve on the most? Then, once you've actually completed that measure of gainful employment, your reflection questions are these questions A through E that you see here. So do you consider yourself to be gainfully employed or not? And do you agree with the assessment? So you have a subjective assessment of how gainfully employed you are. This is the table below is an objective assessment. Do you find convergence between your subjective feelings and the objective measure? What is the greatest area of mismatch between what you really value and what you want and what your job is actually providing? So you might say it's really important to be safe, but you don't feel safe at all. What is the greatest area of match? You might say companionship is really important, and I have great friends at work. And why do you believe that this area of need, is so well fit? And then most of us will not be able to just find another job. And so one of the things that the book talks about, and I think this is a really good point, is to sort of recraft your work. So what do you need to ask for so that you can feel like you're having gainful employment? So what are your needs? Are there ways that you can change your own way of viewing your work? Are there different things you can actually go about doing in your job to actually have greater fit. So, for example, maybe if you feel like companionship is important and you don't have any friends there, what could you do to try and promote some friendships at your work? And maybe actually coming up with a specific plan to implement changes that would improve your fit currently at work. And then what, if anything, do you actually need from your colleagues and bosses to improve your fit? And then if there's really just no way to improve your fit, do you feel like there's another job or career that would be a better match for you? Maybe you're just doing something that isn't aligned with your values really well, right? So again, this is in many ways a very self-reflective type of exercise. You can put into practice many of these different types of suggestions over here on how to be gainfully employed. For example, you could ask for a variety of new duties if you don't feel like you have enough variety in your work. Of course, we should probably always remember that we might have to advocate for income for ourselves and for our family. If you feel like you don't know what your goals and objectives are, maybe asking your supervisor to tell you what the goals and objectives are, how they align with the company and where you actually are. And I think that what you'll find is that if you, again, there's a lot in the textbook on this. If you really sit down and think thoughtfully about this, you should be able to come up with a good plan to improve your current work situation and potentially find a job that is a better fit for who you are and what you value.